Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday morning, May the 13th. We continue to have an active weather pattern across the nation, one that is bringing some much-needed rains to the eastern states. Yesterday, Florida received a soaking rainfall, and today, tomorrow, into Thursday, looks like a beneficial rainfall for much of the Mid-Atlantic region. There's tropical moisture that's flowing right into the Mid-Atlantic region today, and some areas have already received up to an inch or more of rainfall. Places like the D.C. metro region, some of that rainfall will intensify over the next couple of hours across southeastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey as well. This active weather pattern looks like it'll continue right through the remainder of the month of May, and it will continue to include some cold air outbreaks. That keeps alive the possibility of some more severe weather outbreaks, which certainly can include the possibility of tornadoes as well. There may even be a cold air outbreak, it looks like, for the Mid-Atlantic region, let's say right around Memorial Day weekend. We'll talk a little bit about that right now. That's still a long ways away, but the potential exists for kind of a chilly weekend in the Mid-Atlantic region, Memorial Day weekend. Here is a look at the band that features the low-level water vapor, the low-level moisture here. And you can see this tropical moisture really coming from all the way down near the southern tip of Florida here, northern part of Cuba, all shown in white and blue here. This is very moist air, just tropical, a plume of tropical moisture flowing right into the Mid-Atlantic region right now. Yesterday, the state of Florida, which has been exceptionally dry in recent weeks, received a beneficial soaking rainfall. Today, that rain is beneficial on soaking from the Carolinas all the way up to the Mid-Atlantic region. And given the fact that we have yet another very slow-moving upper-level low associated with this ongoing omega blocking pattern, this rainfall today looks like it'll last into Thursday in the Mid-Atlantic region. Not raining all the time, not constant, but the threat of showers and thunderstorms right through Thursday. Then a brief lull in the action, and another system will produce the threat of rain later Friday into Saturday in the Mid-Atlantic region. So again, a rich plume of moist air from the southwestern Atlantic feeding right into the Mid-Atlantic region here on Tuesday. And here's a look at the latest radar loop, and again, some significant rain has already accumulated in places like the D.C. metro region, where it's still raining hard and more than an inch has fallen. Now, this particular pattern, we'll see the 500 millibar height anomaly forecast maps in a moment here, but there's very strong upper level ridging over southeastern part of Canada, and that deep upper level trough, that slow moving deep upper level trough, resides over the Tennessee Valley. The fact that we have that ridge up to the north and east of the Mid-Atlantic region suggests to me that the heaviest amounts in this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday stretch will be on the southwest side of that D.C. to New York City corridor. In other words, in the D.C. metro area. And the least total rainfall amounts in this next few days will be up across the northeast side of that I-95 corridor region, places like New York City, Philly, somewhere in between. And that is kind of the pattern that has taken shape today already, with significant soaking rainfall in and around D.C., a little bit lesser so in Philadelphia, and even less up across New York City. That same pattern looks like it'll continue over the next few days, again, given the fact that there's a strong upper level ridge off to the north and east. This rainfall is kind of having a difficult time pushing too far to the north and east, but not at all a difficult time to make it into the D.C. metro region. And you can see some significant rainfall extends all the way from the Outer Banks into the southern part of Virginia. Again, yesterday, some of this soaking beneficial rainfall hit the state of Florida, which really needed it because they've gone through an exceptionally dry period over the past several weeks. Well, let's run through some forecast maps now. We'll kind of go back and forth between the ensemble run of the GFS for this set of maps, the 500 millibar height anomalies and the 850 millibar temperature anomalies, and then we'll take a look at the conventional run of the GFS for the surface forecast maps. As I mentioned previously, there's a strong upper level ridge as we begin the day here on Tuesday, centered over the Hudson Bay region of Canada. At the same time, we have this very slow moving upper level trough, and we continue to have this omega shaped weather pattern here at the 500 millibar level here. Omega because the upper air wind flow kind of tracks along in a Greek letter omega pattern here with upper level lows, a couple of them kind of with a upper level ridge sandwich in between. We have a strong upper level low out over the western states, and this one currently over the Tennessee Valley, and a ridge extends up here across the middle of the U.S. and it really intensifies off to the north and east. So with this ridge up to the north and east, that rainfall is having more and more difficult time of penetrating to the north and east, and as a result, this particular stretch of weather from today through Thursday will most likely feature the heaviest rainfall amounts in D.C. and the least rainfall amounts up across New York City. Very little, if any, over New England during the next couple of days. Again, they're protected here by that upper level ridge. So this is a kind of an interesting facet of the omega blocking pattern here. Now let's clear these pages here and move forward in time. Again, we're using the ensemble run of the GFS from 0Z last night. We'll move forward here, and this upper level low can't even penetrate too far to the north and east. It ultimately just kind of fades away, kind of dissipates here by later in the week, only to be replaced by yet another upper level low. That moves into the northern plains, and we'll see in a moment here by the weekend it starts to slide to the south and east, and over the weekend we have another upper level trough, this time moving farther to the north into the northeastern part of the nation. Continue to move forward here, and again we continue to have this kind of an omega pattern here. Whenever you have an omega pattern in the upper part of the atmosphere, you have very slow moving systems. So if you're fortunate enough to be under an upper level ridge, you may have several days of warm and dry weather. If you're unfortunate and underneath an upper level trough, you could have several days in a row of wet and cool weather. Now that's actually a good thing right now in the Mid-Atlantic region and much of the eastern U.S. because it's been quite dry in recent weeks here. So we go into the latter part of the upcoming weekend, and same kind of omega shape here to the upper level flow, and we have a ridge moving into the eastern states during the first half of next week, and then another trough slides to the Great Lakes region by the latter part of next week. Now this is just a day or two before the Memorial Day weekend gets underway here, and here we go all the way into that Friday and Saturday of Memorial Day weekend, and this could very well turn out to be the pattern here with colder than normal conditions in the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast U.S., maybe even some unsettled weather for Memorial Day weekend. It's way out ahead. This is in the speculation phase, but the warmest, driest weather for Memorial Day weekend could be centered out over the western states. Now let's take a look at the 5-day means of the 850 millibar temperature anomalies using, again, the ensemble run of the GFS. This is the current 5-day time period from today through the 18th. Much above normal conditions over the eastern half of the nation, colder than normal out across the western states here. Now we'll move forward in time, and again we continue to have this active weather pattern, and it could very well result in a colder than normal air mass moving first into the northern plains, then the Great Lakes, and the Mid-Atlantic region. By the time we get to the Memorial Day weekend, we'll go all the way out in time here. And here we go. This happens to be that time period centered from the 23rd to the 28th. I believe Monday the 26th is Memorial Day, and so this encompasses that Memorial Day holiday time period. Again, we could have a cold air outbreak finding itself over the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic region, the Northeast U.S. For the Memorial Day weekend. At the same time, that upper level ridge out across the west could produce some well above normal temperatures in much of the western U.S. Well, let's wrap up by going to the conventional version of the 0Z GFS. We're looking at the surface forecast maps. Again, we have this plume of rich, moist tropical air moving into the Carolinas today and all the way into the Mid-Atlantic region, and with it, a lot of rainfall from the Outer Banks to southern Virginia, central Virginia, into the D.C. metro region. Certainly some rainfall has made its way into the eastern part of Pennsylvania, not so much so far in New York City. And again, this pattern over the next few days will feature the heaviest rainfall amounts in D.C., maybe up to Philadelphia, and the least rainfall amounts up around New York City. Not much at all over New England. Here we go by Wednesday morning, and that upper level ridge kind of protects New England from this rainfall over the next couple of days. But the threat of showers and thunderstorms will continue into the day on Thursday, and then there may be a brief lull in the action in the Mid-Atlantic region. But here we have another funnel system that will renew the threat of showers in the Mid-Atlantic region, let's say later Friday night into the day on Saturday. Here we go on Saturday, a couple of systems here, one later Friday and one again on Saturday in the Mid-Atlantic region. That rainfall does make its way all the way up into New England. And then we may have a kind of another lull in the action here for the early part of next week. Go out a little farther in time, though, and we can see that overall active weather pattern continues. This is all the way out now, a week from right now, into Tuesday, May 20th time frame here. Notice, cold enough air for some snow at this particular time across the northern Rocky states here. And again, a continuing active weather pattern, one that will feature additional cold air outbreaks over the next couple of weeks. And with that, the possibility of more severe weather outbreaks would go all the way into the end of next week. And this is a day or two before the Memorial Day weekend gets underway. And remember, we saw that upper level trough starting to intensify at this time frame over the Great Lakes. That slowly moves south and east, and here we go into Friday and Saturday of Memorial Day weekend. It could be cool and unsettled up across the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic, even the Northeast U.S. It's way out there, speculation phase, but it's something I wanted to throw out there. So an active, weather pattern continues for the next couple of weeks, and one that will include additional cold air outbreaks. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.